How can I better help my partner with anxiety without losing patience and getting frustrated? Seeking advice. My 33M wife, 30F, has bad anxiety and depression. She's been in therapy for a decade and is generally in solid control of it, but every so often she'll get fixated on something, typically something small and insignificant, and she can't get off of it. When she tries to talk me through it, she'll often talk in circles, repeating herself several times because she feels like she hasn't explained herself right. I try my best to listen and support, but it can hit a point where it gets ridiculous and I can't stand to hear the same thing again. I have lost my cool a few times and can raise my voice, begging her to stop and move on, which only makes things worse. Our most recent spat has come as a result of her getting hyper-fixated on this Algerian boxer, the discussions around her, and the public hate she's received. My wife was really upset by the abusive trash talk that her recent Hungarian opponent hurled at her online before their match. I agreed that the tweets / etc. were too much and really mean, but caveat that trash talk is a part of fighting sports, and these are naturally aggressive, mean people. Their sport is literally punching each other in the face. That caveat has my wife spiraling. Even though I agreed with her that the Hungarian woman was too mean, she feels as though I've justified it by saying trash talk is common in boxing. I countered that this really isn't a big issue in the grand scheme of things, and we should just move on because this has zero impact on us, but my hyper-empathetic wife can't wrap her head around a world where not everyone is nice to everyone else and is upset that I'm not all that bothered by this cyberbullying. She keeps needing to revisit the topic and wants to hear me say exactly what she's thinking, that the Hungarian was over the line, and I've said it 100 times, but clearly not the right way. I know exactly how the conversation is going to go each time she brings it up again. I let her know that at the start, and I summarize what we've discussed so far. She is still unsatisfied and keeps needing to explain even though I've demonstrated I understand. Her need to talk often comes at inopportune times. We both work from home, so there's a lot of time around each other, and I will try saying, I don't have capacity for this right now. Can we talk later? And that's always met with, there's never a good time for you. These fixations are almost always about non-important stuff, often politics. We are politically aligned, but if we have a minor difference of opinion on a topic, even if the general opinion is aligned, she will often fixate and spiral. She'll G to a point where she knows we agree, but she needs to hear me say exactly what she wants to hear, or we need to start the conversation over. In my experience, the only thing that solves it is time. Can take days or weeks, but the storm will pass. The problem is when we try to talk through it. I often lose my patience listening to the same thing over and over, several days in a row. The conversations often start on a bad foot, because I'll go in annoyed that we're even having to have a talk in the first place. Anyone have similar experience and have tips for how to navigate these talks? How to stay more calm in the face of tedious, anxious rambling. It'd be easy to blame this all on her anxiety, but I want to make sure I'm doing my part to not make things worse when she gets like this. I'm undiagnosed, but I probably have a tinge of ADHD that can make it even harder to listen at times when there's no clear end in sight.